What happened to the world on the way to being civilized? We all feel we've lost something. Nobody knows quite what. We're in the shoes of perhaps a rich kid who has all the toys but no family life. And it seems perhaps we've traded relationships for goods and services. So how did this come about? Well, obviously, as time goes by, humans specialize. We develop economies of scale. We produce things in a stripped down manner so that each person does one thing only, does it repetitively, and does it in such a quantity that the total output far exceeds anything that could be done by the same number of people working independently. This is a call for community. Our economies have jumped head first into the idea of community. We've, as businesses, we've adopted community on a grand and intense scale, and we've created these goods and services that we all enjoy. But society has become something along the lines of a dependent who isn't being cared for, and as such, the development of society has not only been stunted, it's been starved and debilitated because of its lack of care. We have boats and planes and cars, nice houses, good furniture, but they are, as the Bible says, whitewashed tombs with no life inside. Now, we could rail against economic development and the mass merchandising of society, but I think to some extent that misses the point. The industrialization, electronic advancing, the digital age aren't the enemies of man. They're under our creation, they're under our creative control. It's their use or application that's been in error. We've so focused on the making of goods and services, we lost sight of why we're doing this. And the argument of locavores united is that we are making these things to increase the value of labor, not to supply consumers with goods and services, but to increase the value of labor. Labor isn't the means to an end. We are the end. We're the purpose of why we're doing things. Unfortunately, in trying to correct the errors of this system, we've displaced our energy and our reforming intentions out into left field, we haven't really tackled the central issue, and which is the meaninglessness of labor, the disconnect between labor and the wealth that we create. The capitalist has been and still remains the central figure in our landscape. It is the capitalist riding on the white horse with the great banner of freedom and prosperity held high. And labor is the ragtag motley crew dragging behind. But it is labor that is creating the wealth. And until we have a labor theory of value, or an economy that it operates under the labor theory of value, we don't have an ethical economy. We don't have an economy that can produce a real civilization. And this is a big problem, because we have a breakdown of civilization, we have a breakdown of society, and capitalists are riding forward with their banner, figuring out how to capitalize on this, how to make a profit out of the misery they are causing. And what they're saying is, yes, you have no human relationship, you have no family life, you have no meaning. But look at the car, look at the gadgets on this vehicle, look at the phone, look at the new apps we have for this phone, look at all these nice furnishings and the beautiful homes that you can buy. The choices are unlimited. And yes, you may not be happy, but we have pills for that. We have experts who can talk to you, and they can listen to you. And we will even subsidize the cost of this for you. And if you feel suicidal, we can put you in an institution. We can provide therapy. We can give you all the kind of cost per use services you could ever imagine. We have a cornucopia of abundance of therapies for the disassociated and the sad and the lonely. We can even train and provide therapy dogs, or therapy cats if you prefer. We can provide a whole menagerie of creatures, and in fact, if you wish, we can turn you into a creature. If you don't like being human, we'll help you be a dog or a cat or a rabbit or whatever you want. You want to be a tree? Yes, we can have the tools for that. It only costs money. We can provide anything. Anything that can be provided for a fee, we can provide it. But this isn't society. This isn't the meaning of society. It's not giving labor its true value. And only Locavores United understands the problem and how to fix it. And we need to put labor into the driver's seat. And to do this, we have to start from giving labor a high value. Because so long as labor is valued only as a product of the capitalist system, something that the capitalist system produces, in the sense that a capitalist will amass capital and configure a system of production, and then through this create labor. Labor is a product of the capitalist, and if the capitalist isn't producing labor, which is paid workers serving the capitalist's need, labor has no value. And this is totally bizarre, because the whole purpose of a community and civilization is to give labor value. We make things so that our life has value. Not because we're making we have value for the capitalist. And this is where civilization has gone wrong, and it's what we've lost. We've lost the value of labor, and kids growing up are depressed and suicidal even, and outraged to the point of mass murder, because they don't see a time when they're going to be worth anything, when their contribution is going to be valued. And so the key component of the locavore policy and program is to increase the value of labor. And if you don't increase the value of labor, what we have is a mockery of civilization. It's not civilization, it mocks it. Just in the same way that capitalism mocks the value of labor, the civilization built on this mocks labor, mocks civilization, mocks what civilization is supposed to be.